Good day everyone. Our group will discuss about tourism development of Northern Philippines, Batanes.
Tourism Development Plan of Northern Batanes. The Department of Tourism started review of the original plan in December 2015, following extensive consultation with national government agencies and private tourism-related associations in January 2016 until March 2016. Extensive discussion are also supported by a survey of the SWOT and the economic purposes and targets placed during the 2011 to 2016. The basis for strategic programs and action plan in 2016 to 2022 for the new goals. Developing a highly competitive and environmentally sustainable tourism industry that is focused on creating growth was adopted to provide long-term implementation. The two continuity is the new plan with the special focus achievable as well on building has already been through the efforts in the tourism industry. Ayon dito, ang Department of Tourism, ang kanilang plan ay nagsimula in December 2015. The national government and agencies in private tourism ay in-extend nila in January 2016 to March 2016. During the 2011-2016, ang strategic programs and action plan in 2016 to 2022 for developing a highly competitive and environmentally to sustain tourism industry. The DOT, in coordination with the Department of Environmental and Natural Resources, the National Commission on Indigenous People, and the National Commission for Culture and Arts. Sila daw yung nag-a-assist sa province ng Batanes to develop plan that should be complemented of guidelines and standards for a responsible community for the ecotourism. At ang Tourism Development Plan ay ini-ensure nila ang preservation ng natural sites at cultural historic significance of identified tourist attraction. and respect for Ivatan culture and traditions. The following components are carrying capacity of sites or maximum na bilang ng mga turista na pumupunta sa isang lugar para hindi magsiksikan ang mga turista doon sa Batanes. Letter B. Specific site assessment are important in the committees and environmental is required for specific cases at the discretion of the building inspector. Letter C. Identification of strategic priorities. Ito ay mahalaga sa isang organisasyon kung paano nila ma-achieve ang goals ng isang organization. Letter D. Product development for local income generation. Example is yung pagbebenta nila ng mga local product katulad ng plastic bottle or mga bote. Capacity building for local communities so residents there can be able to manage economically variable and responsible community-based ecotourism business enterprises. Pagpapatayo ng gusali na para sa mga business para makatulong sa komunidad. Letter F. Support for the formation of local production groups and networks, marketing, and pricing of products. Pagsusuporta sa mga ginagawang programa and products ng mga Ivatan people. At pagkakaroon nila ng suggested price para sa mga products nila. Letter G. Marketing strategies that reflect the natural, cultural, social, and environmental integrity of Batanes. From local community and its residents have sustained the natural, cultural, social, and environmental at pinoprotektahan nila ang kanilang resources. In the northern Philippines, he has protect the cluster destinations are Coast and Babuyan Islands, Lawag or Vigan, Sierra Madre, Cordillera, Lingayen Gulf, Central Luzon, Metro Manila, and Calabarzon.
Tourism policy implemented in Batanes. An act declaring the province of Batanes as a responsible, community-based cultural heritage and ecotourism zone. Republic Act No. 10866, Congress of the Philippines, 23 of June 2016. This act is known as Batanes Responsible Tourism Act. The state recognizes, respects, and protects the right of indigenous cultural communities to preserve and develop their cultures, traditions, and institutions, and considers these rights in the formulation of national plans and policies. Sa layunin ng government na proteksyonan ang kultura at mamamayan sa Batanes, sa pamamagitan ng paggawa ng polisiya na may layon na makilala ang Batanes bilang isang pamana ng mga katutubo sa Batanes. Pagbibigay din ito ng respeto sa nakagawiang tradisyon ng mga tao dito. At para rin makilala ang kagandahan ng Batanes sa buong mundo. The state is further mandated to promote a tourism industry that is ecologically sustainable, responsible, participative, culturally sensitive, economically viable, and equitable for local communities. Towards this end, the province of Batanes is hereby declared a cultural heritage and ecotourism zone. It shall be accorded priority development by the Department of Tourism o DOT and shall be subject to the rules and regulation governing the development of cultural heritage and ecotourism zone. Ang gusto ng gobyerno ay mapalawig ang tourism industry ng Batanes sa pamamagitan ng pagpapromote o pagpapakilala ng economical na pamumuhay, pagpapanatili ng kagandahan ng turismo sa Batanes, at ang pagsaksi sa pantay-pantay na estado ng mga tao rito. The promotion of the following inherent values and characteristics which influence the uniqueness of the Ivatan culture and the beauty of the islands of Batanes shall be pursued in the development and management of the tourism industry in the province. A. The integrity of its ecology and environment. O ang pagiging tapat at pag-iingat sa kapaligiran nila. Later on, makikita natin ito sa mga sample pictures mamaya. The richness of its natural and cultural heritage. O yung naman ang Batanes sa kanilang kultura at napanatili nila ang kagandahan ng kapaligiran, tulad ng mga bundok at iba pang tanawin. The resilience of its indigenous social institutions. At nananatiling matatag ang kanilang lumang kultura o native traditions nila dito. Pursuant to the above declaration of policies, the state shall endeavor to accomplish the following objectives. Letter A. The develop and promote responsible, community-based ecological, cultural tourism as the core management strategy in the development and growth of Batanes. So, layunin na maitaguyod at mabuo ang kultura ng Batanes sa gayon ay mapalawig pa ang turismo dito sa tulong ng mga mamamayan ng Batanes. Letter B. Ensure the conservation of the biodiversity and the preservation of the unique heritage and culture of the province. Sisigurado ang pangangalaga ng uniqueness at kakaibang kultura ng Batanes. Develop tourism products and programs that will generate employment and livelihood for the local residents, consistent with the preservation and maintenance of local heritage and culture. Gumawa ng program about sa pagde-develop ng mga produkto na mula at hango o yung mga local products sa probinsya ng Batanes upang magkaroon ng sapat at stable na trabaho ang mga tao dito. Pinapangalagaan din nila yung mga tourist spot nila para sa gayon ay may makikita pa yung mga turista na pwedeng pumunta sa Batanes. Letter D, guarantee that the financial and economic benefits of the tourism industry are equitably shared by and distributed among the Ivatans and local residents by giving preference and support to community and home-based tourism enterprises, such as micro and small businesses like local inns, lodges, and homestays, restaurants, food and fruit stands, arts and craft shops, and similar tourism-oriented industry and businesses. Upang maging financially stable ang Batanes, sinusuportahan din ang mga home-based or small businesses at mga locally made product shop nila dahil makakatulong ito na umunlad ang industry nila dito. E. Ensure that the quality of local tourism programs and activities are educational and enriching for tourists and visitors through the provision of orientation, educational, and tour programs by local tour operators, non-government organizations, local government units, and the DOT. So, sinisigurado din na tama ang mga binibigay na impormasyon about sa iba't ibang tourist spot sa Batanes. Sa mga turista at makakabuluhan sa magiging alaala nila rito. So, para maging makabuluhan yung mga alaala ng mga turista na pupunta sa Batanes. Siyempre, if tayo yung turista tas hindi maganda yung magiging experience natin, siyempre nakakapanghinayang naman, di ba? Pinlano natin pumunta sa ganitong lugar upang makapag-relax at makita yung magandang tanawin nila. Tas para matikman natin yung mga unique foods na meron sila. 'Di ba? Tas isipin mo yung inipon mo pang-travel sa ganitong lugar. 'Di ba masasayang? Sayang naman. Saka malulungkot ka din. Kasi pinaghirapan mo yung isang bagay na yon tapos akala mo napakaganda sa ganitong lugar. Tas ala lang pala. So letter F, guarantee that in the development and promotion of the local tourism industry, the LGUs shall ensure that the needs of local residents and communities in the area of water supply, food, energy, and local construction materials are first secured and met. So sa pagde-develop ng turismo sa Batanes, mainam na di dapat mapababayaan ang mga residente nila. Marahil kaya pinapaunlad ang kanilang turismo ay para rin sa benepisyo ng kanilang mga komunidad.
Go. Top 10 destination to go in Northern Batanes. Discover Morong Beach. It's one of the popular beach in Batanes. Batanes' unspoiled beauty is most evident beautiful beaches from powdery white sand, scattered boulders surrounded by thyme, and Batanes has a variety of seascape you can swim in, visit, and lunch at, such as Morong Beach. Located in Sabtang Island, Morong Beach is one of the more popular beaches in the province, thanks to the large rock formation called Nakabuwang Arch. This natural formation is said to be the most photographed spot in all Batanes and has become the icon of Sabtang Island and Batanes as a whole. Hike to Mount Iraya. Batanes is picturesque at every turn and hard-pressed to find a spot anywhere on that are not worth capturing in photos. One example is the famous tourist attraction in Batanes, Mount Iraya. This active volcano offers an adventure for hikers. This tourist spot is a significant landmark for Ibatans. According to the older Ibatans, whenever someone important in their tribe passes away, a ring of clouds appear above the mountain's clouds. Visit Basco Lighthouse. Start your lighthouse tour bright and is located on the main island. Batanes built in March 2003 to serve as a guide. Fishermen, the 66 feet tower Basco Lighthouse, others a 360-degree view of Basco Town proper, Basco Port, and the West Philippine Sea. Basco Lighthouse is one of the 3 active lighthouses suggested by Florencio Abad, former Batanes congressman. Sabtang and Mahataw are the 2 other lighthouses, and all of them are considered tourist attraction in the province. The main column is round lighthouse, white painted, and crowned with a red lantern dome. Next. See the Vayang Rolling Hills. Rolling Hills will give you an unobstructed view of the majestic Mount Iraya, as well as province's significant islands, Batanes, Sabtang, and Itbayat, all at once. A big part of the rolling hills used to be public land covered in cogon grass, which is used by the locals to make their cogon roofs. Today, most of the land in Vayang consists of farmland. From afar, you can see goats and cows grazing in the greenery. You can also catch a glimpse of the beautiful West Philippine Sea when you're in the rolling hills. Next, stroll in Balugan Boulder Beach. Come and visit Balugan Boulder Beach. Countless round boulders and smaller stones fill the entire 3-kilometer stretch of this beach in Batanes Island. It is said that the rocks on this beach were ejected from Mount Iraya during an eruption several centuries ago, and that the stones have been rounded due to the years of continually pounding waves from the Pacific Ocean. Because of the rough terrain, swimming at Balugan Boulder Beach is not allowed. Taking the stones home as souvenirs is not allowed either. It's best visit during the early morning or late afternoon. Make sure to catch the sunrise if you can, as it's a beautiful sight to behold. Pray at Mount Carmel Chapel or Tucon Church. Batanes has dozens of churches scattered throughout its 3 inhabited islands, but one church that you shouldn't miss when you do go for a visit is Mount Carmel Chapel, also known to locals as Tucon Church. Local artisans built this small chapel on the top of a hill, and the the traditional stone house inspired its design. The chapel is ideal for couples who want a romantic and small marriage ceremony. Inside the chapel are paintings of saints done by local artists. Discover Sabtang Lighthouse. The only lighthouse on Sabtang Island greets you after a 45-minute Palua ride from Ibana Port in Batanes Island. Its features are like the Basco and Tayid Lighthouse, but the Sabtang Lighthouse stone walls are left in its natural state. The beam also offers a breathtaking view of rolling hills and the open ocean from the top of its observation tower. Tower shape of Sabtang Lighthouse, cylindrical tower with balcony and lantern. The tower boasts a round tower with a rubble masonry finish all the way to the gallery deck. Tayid Lighthouse of Mahataw. It is one of the 3 functional lighthouses that was built in early 2000. The lighthouse also served as a tourist attraction. The main tower of the lighthouse is hexagonal. Other people confuse it is a round. Unlike its sister lighthouse in Basco, which has a round tower deck, the Tayid Lighthouse has a hexagonal tower deck. Many tourists consider it an 18th century old edifice, but in actuality, it was built during the early 2000s. The establishment of Tayid Lighthouse, as well as the Basco and Sabtang Lighthouse, was a proposal of the former Representative Butch Abad. Visit House of Dakay. Standing after a strong earthquake hit the island in the early 90s during colonial times. It is still being used as a pedestrian bridge by the locals today. The house is also featured in different articles. Major parts of the house are still intact and kept in good condition, as well as the shutters and the floors. The tattered cogon roof of the house is replaced every 30 years since 1917. This particular stone structure cannot be found anywhere else in the Philippines. It is designed to be firm, providing shelter that will last from storm and strong winds in the island, which is located along the typhoon belt. Explore Naidi Hills. The first Batanes lighthouse has been constructed here in Naidi Hills. The site offers a breathtaking view of Baluarte Bay, Basco Town, Mount Iraya, and the sloping hills of Batan Island. On a clear day, the entire Batanes, including the islets beyond Itbayat, can be seen from the hills. Naidi is derived from the Ibatan phrase past settlement. According to the history, it was once the most extensive wireless communication facility in the country. connecting Batanes to Manila during the American period, up to the demise of a grenade by the Japanese Imperial Air Force in the beginning of World War II.
Sustainable tourism practices in Batanes. The sustainable tourism in Batanes, by promoting their tagline, breathtaking Batanes, explore simplicity through preserving historic stone home and walking on pristine white sand beaches. Through these activities, tourism in Batanes becomes more environmentally friendly because of the project of the local government unit by preserving its cultural and natural heritage. So ang LGU daw po or local government unit ng Batanes ay may malaking role or papel sa kanilang komunidad sa mga lugar na makasaysayan para mapanatili o ma-preserve ang kagandahan ng kultura ng mga tourist spot sa kanilang bayan o probinsya. Meron silang ordinansa o tuntunin na dapat sundin o isagawa upang patuloy tangkilikin ang mga turista. At ang pagiging productive ng turismo sa Batanes while being sustainable or pagpapanatili ng environment sa Batanes nang di gumagamit ng hazard or non-perishable goods na di naman makakatulong sa kanilang komunidad. Meron dito mga ilang picture na lugar sa Batanes na kanilang nasusustain o napapanatili at napapreserve nila hanggang sa ngayon. So, yung House of Dakay and Morong Beach. Then, House of Dakay, ang bahay na bato, dahil nais din po nilang mapanatili ang ganda ng Batanes, imbis na naglalakihang hotel ang ipatayo, ang tinatawag nilang homestay or bahay mismo ng ibatan, ang bukas para tuloy ng mga turista bukod sa mga commercial lodging. So, ayan po ang Mount Carmel Chapel, also known as Tukon Church, and the Lighthouse of Batanes. Next, the three pillars of sustainable tourism are employing environmentally friendly practices, reduce, reuse, recycle, protecting cultural and natural heritage, restoring historic building or saving endangered species, and providing tangible social and economic benefits for local communities. February, Philippines, based on diversified beverage company in partnership with the provincial government of Batanes, launched the Bote Pool Batanes project on February 5. The Bote Pool Batanes is a bottle retrieval program of Ginebra San Miguel Incorporated that aims to assist the province in reducing its waste by collecting the bottles of Ginebra product in exchange for rice provision. So, ang pamahalaan panlalawigan daw po ng Batanes ay naglunsad ng proyekto na Bote Pool Batanes noong Pebrero 5 at ang Bote Pool Batanes ay isang programa sa pagkuha ng bote ng Ginebra ng San Miguel na tulungan ang lalawigan na mabawasan ang basura sa pamamagitan ng pagkolekta ng mga bote ng mga produkto ng Ginebra, kapalit nito ang bigas. So, Batanes announced on Thursday that it will be regulating the use of plastic in the province starting January 1, 2021. Provincial Government on Batanes. So, ang provincial government ng Batanes ay inihayag na mula sa January 1, 2021 ay isasaayos ang paggamit ng plastic sa kanilang probinsya. Meron lang mga limited entry per sale and use of single-use plastic. Only the following single-use plastic may be allowed for use and reuse. Katulad po ng soda and water bottles with content of 500 ml and above. Manufactured on those doubled biodegradable plastic bag shall be used for wet goods. Letter C, plastic cellphone pouch, packaging for ice making and ice candies, yellow ginger, sugar, salt, pepper, and other ground local condiments. Letter D, plastic packaging cell phone pouch for local bread and pastry. Letter E, biodegradable garbage bag. Letter F, styrofoam box container for cold and storage. Letter C, prepack manufactured juices with stirrer. Letter H, labo plastic wrapper. Letter F, other plastic prepack food items. Commodities. Next po. So bring your own bag policy. Customer must bring their own bag when going to shopping or to the market. Only reusable and biodegradable plastic bags are allowed for use, especially for wet goods. However, use of traditional way of holding fish and meat is encouraged. So ngayon po, pinatutupad po nila na ganyan na po ang kailangang gamitin pag pupunta po ng market or sa shopping. Kabaya leaves, red fruit, 3 are used, are plates, and may even be folded to scoop soup. So makikilala ang Batanes sa pagiging sustainable ng kanilang kultura dahil sa gumagamit sila ng dahon bilang pang-serve ng kanilang putahe at nagagamit din ito bilang kutsara nila. Makikita dito na di lang sila maingat sa kalikasan dahil resourceful din ang mga tao dito sa Batanes.
Major environmental problems occurred in Batanes. Solid waste management. The solid waste problems here is due to the bulk of waste collected, mostly plastic bottles and wrappers, and has noted that the influx of tourists is one of the contributing factors. So, ang sa mga problem sa Batanes yung mga basura na galing sa mga turista na nanggagaling sa Batanes. Presently presented the increasing volume of solid waste dump in the province different sites, including those disposed in the sea, to the representative of various sectors here who are concerned in the implementation of the ecological solid waste management law. To sustain their program on the collection of recycled materials, to develop a scheme in the proper collection and management of biodegradable waste from the household and the business established area, they ordered all barangays to revive their material recovery facilities. Yun na, inilunsad nila yung single plastic use only. Influenced by environmental condition. The culture of Ibatas is partly influenced by the environmental condition of Batanes. Unlike the old type nipa huts common in the Philippines, Ibatans have adopted a famous stone house made of coral and limestone designed to protect against the hostile climate. Yun na, nawawala na yung pagiging kultura ng Ibatas dahil nga sa pagkakaroon natin ng iba-ibang panahon sa climate change at nasisira ang kanilang yung mga kulturang bahay, kaya napapalitan nito ng mas konkretong gamit para maging matibay siya sa mga bagyo, ganoon. Climate typhoon. Rice is almost non-existent as a crop in Batanes. Only a few succeed in growing vegetables because the wind, sea breeze, and flooding destroys crops. They struggle because of the weather. Their residents are now building modern houses, which reduce the number of traditional stone houses that the provincial government is trying to preserve. So, ang sa mga problem dito is yung kanilang mga rice. Kasi nga, rice crop. Kasi nga, kapag dumaan, hindi siya tumatagal sa bagyo. Kaya, ang nagsasucess lang na kanilang pananim is mga vegetables or fruit crops, ganon. Kasi nga, sa panahon na malamig, parang lesson nyo, ganon. Modernization. Modernity is coming to the island, but slowly. The traditional beliefs still dictate the ways houses are built, crops are grown, and food is prepared. All of it is learned knowledge to defy the elements. So yun na nga, nahaluan na ng mga ibang kultura ang pagiging cultural ng Batanes kasi nga nagkakaroon na ng modernity sa lugar at unti-unti itong na-adapt dahil sa pangangailangan na rin na nagbabago na rin ang kanilang modernization sa lugar.
Advocacy and marketing strategy in Batanes. How we are going to promote Batanes? Batanes is the most promoted and most beautiful province in the country. Batanes is every Filipino's bucket list and also every photographer's dream destination with picturesque hills and geographic beaches. Located in the northernmost part of the Philippines, Batanes is the smallest province, both in terms of land, area, and population. Traveling in this paradise can cost as much as 80,000 pesos for a round trip ticket alone. The outside beauty of Batanes is pretty balanced from its breathtaking beautiful landscapes and its unique cultural heritage and tradition. One of the Batanes' unique culture to be known is the Ivatan Stone House. Ano ba yung Ivatan Stone House? Ito yung Ivatan Stone House are determining structures of Batanes because they are found their sturdiness walls. Batanes' best delicacies, Batanes' best delicacies to be known of every local and foreign travelers are the food items for pasalubong, such as kamote chips, dibang or flying fish, suman, typical dessert in Batanes, and uvod balls, one of the most popular Batanes food. Paano ba nila malalaman kung gaano kaganda ang Batanes? By using our marketing strategy. First, we could distribute flyers, brochures, get featured in newspapers, or post posters, bulletin boards. This advertisement would then be noticed by the public and would therefore raise the awareness of how beautiful and wonderful Batanes is. The second one is we could advertise the top 10 destinations of Batanes on social media by creating a Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter account. We can post pictures of these exquisite places. Third, we could air a 30-second commercial on national television. The commercial would contain all the top destinations of Batanes and its local cuisines, an expensive and effective plan to further spread the beauty of Batanes. And the lastly, we could set up booths or stalls certain events so that the public may experience the local delicacies and products of Batanes. The last is our advocacy. The advocacy in Batanes should be truly supported by people around the world. It's the culture preservation that it has, and also by patronizing the tradition and ways of Ivatan people's living. We should acquire the habit of how people in Batanes are honest and respectful, protecting the ancient houses made by rocks and supporting the use of Ivatan tribes garments in their hardress na tinatawag nilang bakul as time flies.
Batanes is one of the best tourist attraction in the Philippines. It is known for its people, culture, and the most unique natural environment it has. Though it is located at the edge of the Philippines, people constantly visit Batanes because it leaves tourists a precious memory in their heart and experience that they will never forget.